love your suit.
Hello, beautiful people. I'm Oliver Perrin, and you are with us today within a safer space, joined as well by Mr. Tim Rudisil, returned from his rehabilitation process, and in this clip, not wearing his therapeutic eye patch, which I swear he's wearing for genuine reasons, not just to take the piss out of all of us. The subject of our discussion this afternoon will be recent developments in the United States. Since Tim has been away for a while, we just did a clip on the international situation with some of his recent thoughts about what's going on there. And we're going to do one on the United States. So maybe cover, leftist violence, outrage, hysteria, the upcoming midterm elections, maybe some stuff having to do with the Supreme Court. We will see. But now, before we jump to this subject, I do want to remind all of you that most of the old Semiagog content is up on BitChute, so subscribe over there to check things out. Many of the things that Tim will be talking about are further elucidated in clips that we've already done there. And please don't unsubscribe from the Semiagog channel. I will eventually be turning it back on again. I just have to wait until the 3-month period of me being in the doghouse for, evil speech lapses. So, BitChute, the new channel, A Safer Space, which you're on at the moment, and I encourage you to sign up for. Stay on the old Semiagog channel, and remember that there's BitChute, Twitter, Gab, and Minds. So,
and
we
Patreon.
have... Oh, fuck, you have to do it.
Patreon.
I thank my...
give us money.
I thank my patrons for their
Well, you ought to.
in this trying time. Many of them have stuck around. Many of them were much more interested in you than in me, Tim. And yet, even with all this trouble of you being away, well, fuck yourself. So, on this subject of what's going on...
People of good taste, Ollie. People of good taste.
As we say down in New Orleans, yeah, all that taste is in their mouth. So...
in this case, in their pocketbooks.
In the United States, in our domestic situation, with all the craziness that is going on, what would you like to discuss there? What comes to mind immediately is some things that our viewers should be considering vis-a-vis all this craziness as we head up to the midterms. I've certainly seen that, YouTube is bringing the hammer down hard. The other so-called social media networks are doing their best to shut things down. I think it's just going to keep getting crazier and crazier as we head towards the midterms. What else?
Well, I think the midterms pretty much say the whole story. We've got the Democrats acting like complete and utter fools. Nancy Pelosi, Pocahontas, everybody. They just don't know what the fuck to do. They're all geriatric basket cases. I'm the one that had the stroke. God damn, man, they're acting like they had a stroke. And I'm just amazed. This kinder, gentler channel you got here, I'm having to adjust to.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to curtail my language a bit.
Yes, whatever we can say is only half as interesting as what we can't. And for those in the know, what is it? Nudge is as good as a wink to a blind bat. The can't I'm referring to is a different kind of can't. But yes, go on.
Right. The thing is that it says a nudge is as good as a wink to a blind horse. If you're going to say can't, you got to get it right. The thing is that no matter how you look at this mess, the socialists in the Democratic Party have gone absolutely batshit. They've left all of America behind, and they show no willingness to stop, take a look, and see that they're out there in front all by themselves. They've got they've been talking in their bubble so long they've forgotten there's anything aside from their bubble. which is fine by me. I mean, I'm just as happy to see the Democrats lose. But I'm going to be honest with you. They're setting it up so that there's going to be the Democratic National Party, the Republican National Party, Trump and his base, as they like to call it, and that's going to be about it. Now, depending on how Trump handles all of this mess, um, I don't see the Democrats having a rat's ass chance in hell of being able to gain anything except a whole lot of empty ballots. They just don't seem to be going anywhere except with dyed-in-the-wool abject socialists like Kamala Harris,
Kristen
that little
Gillibrand.
girl.
Yeah, that new one
Gillibrand.
from New York, the
Oh,
Ocasio-Cortez, who just
Sure.
looks like she's suffering from a hysterical fit whenever she speaks. Yeah.
Well, I think she really ought to put the vibrator down, But be that as it
Now,
may,
this is a safer space.
a safer space with a crying closet, even. The thing is, do you have your crying closet, Ollie? I don't have my crying closet yet. I've got to get one.
Yeah, it has
Oh
guns
my
in it.
God!
Yeah.
Because I'll feel so much better after I go into it and have a good cry, and then come back out and feel like an absolute idiot. But at any rate, the thing is that no matter how you slice this crap, it's still going to be crap. I mean, it's like watching the Evergreen University slowly burn itself up, running around doing all the mess it did. And I'm watching the Democratic National Committee, which I cannot fathom, run around and burn itself slap the fuck down to the ground. I mean, every time I look at television and I see anybody on there, I wonder, is anybody paying attention to what they're saying? Or do they just make noise and go along with the talking points and leave the entirety of the country and the people and just everyday average people behind, going, damn, I wonder what that was about. What lunatic asylum they get that idiot out of? Because, Ollie, when you look at their talking points, they're absolutely insane. There's nothing to talk about there unless you want to do the thing with a little retardate trying to eat an ice cream cone and go, no, honey, you put that down a little lower, It's all bullshit. And I am really kind of wondering how long all of these conservatives and just regular people, not even conservative, just regular people, are going to be able to put up with this off the wall nonsense, because it's completely off the wall. They were set to jump all over no matter who Trump nominated to fill the vacancy of Mr. Kennedy on the Supreme Court. They were set to jump all over him. They were set for the Roman Catholic girl who was too Roman Catholic, and they were going to have to get in there about her ideology.
Have you heard how many children she has?
Yeah, sure. And they were all set to jump on everybody. Well, what the fuck can I say? I mean, who do they want as a Supreme Court justice? Who do they want? What sort of criteria is he or she supposed to bring with them?
I think they'd like Barack Obama.
Well,
it's a safer space now.
I'm being safe. I don't see Mr. Obama having the credentials to be a Supreme Court justice. I'm not even sure he knows what a statement of jurisdiction is. It appears in front of every little case that gives the court jurisdiction, says why the court has jurisdiction. It's just a little paragraph or two. But I don't even think he knows what that's about. I don't think he knows how to do anything except feel. And that's not how you do the law. The law goes to an entirely different place and goes to things you may not like the feel of, but that are the law. So you've got all of that kind of stuff rolled into the Supreme Court. People being originalist and constructionist, bullshit. Either you go by the law or you don't. If you go by the law, then you've got various bases to go by the law, but still in all, you go by the law. The law grinds slow. There's a reason for that. You don't want rapid changes in the law because it's what we all have to live by. What we all have to live by, we have given our word, so to speak, by living in this country, that we will abide by its laws.
And yet at the same time, that's entirely distinct from their myth of progressivism, the idea that's been chained at the hip to the, or joined at the hip to this notion that progressivism is ultimately like some sort of odd funhouse mirror reflection of evolution. And progressivism naturally always goes forward into a bright and shining utopian future. I mean, I've even seen headlines that say things like the court is always, decades behind the country. And the idea is that we have to change the justices so that they'll be up to date. They'll even be ahead of the country, which is entirely contradicted by the traditions of common law, as you yourself are saying.
Yes. But you see, the thing is that no matter how you view this matter, the law must remain and must remain true to itself. You can't just throw out the laws you don't like, which of course is something the left has trouble with. They want to throw it all away, Ollie, and start afresh anew. Do away with ICE. Ooh. Just let MS-13 run wild in the country for a while. It'll be all right. We'll have non-violent, non-police, non-incarcerational solutions to these problems, and you can come up with these. All right, I'm not going to. I'm going to be too busy. This is what I mean. They come up with the damnedest shit. You ever hear about the Honeydew House or the Misewell House? How about the Misewell House?
Like honeydew it?
No, kind of like that. It's actually. Oh, I think I'd like a bigger study in here. Might as well. I want 3 more bedrooms. Might as well. In other words, it's an answer to an absolutely ridiculous request based on you've got the money for it, haven't you? Well, you see, money doesn't answer the question of law. Law is that which guides us, and it has to guide us. You had a thing that appeared on what is his name? Donut operator. And he was talking about this cop who drew his gun on some 9-year-olds and some children who were from 17 to 9. And yeah, he did, because he was surrounded by them, and he'd been in that zone, in that area, for a number of years and knew all the kids. In fact, pointed one out and went, "Oh, you again, huh?" And one of the kids' mothers, well, actually the mother of 2 of the kids, was right there taking photographs of it all with her cell phone, and they were calling him a pussy and talking about him with real, just inflammatory language. And yet he kept drawing his gun and then putting it back, drawing his gun, putting it back, showing them that he would go there if he had to, but he didn't want to. Now, they want to come down on him in the face of all this nonsense. These people never confronted a whole bunch of 9 to 17-year-olds. They'll tear you to pieces.
Yeah, there's that book called Lord of the Flies. But this brings us kind of around to this whole idea of the tyrants, and how this has been used for decades now to push through all of this immigration change. And
We've only got about 24 churins that haven't been reunited with their parents.
Whatever it is now, it's more interesting.
The majority of them came by themselves.
Yeah, or with people who aren't actually their biological parents. But you pointed out long ago that, these unaccompanied minors are being pumped up as a part of a program. It was a decision made in advance for tactical, for strategic reasons, whatever.
Sure.
But it occurs to me
that... And it helps the narcotistas, too. Mm-hmm.
When I think about when this really became a major part of our public discourse, this idea of, the government's bad, evil, nasty, and we're going to push through our leftist bullshit by pointing to children. Mm-hmm. As I recall, the first big time, at least that I'm aware of, that became a major news point was with Viet Cong children being killed. And that became a major news thing. So it seems like the leftists...
How do you know they're Viet Cong children, Ollie? They were just toasted with napalm and blown up and everything. And they were just, oh my God.
It's a safer space now.
That's what I'm saying. How do you know they were Viet Cong children and not just hapless children of the Vietnamese?
But what I'm getting at is this idea that looks like when that technique started to be railroaded forward.
Uh-huh. Sure. What about it? Did you not expect it?
Well, it's just obviously it's been around for quite some time. So are we going to see that finally go away? Because it's just cheering on all sides, everybody wailing and,
and gnashing of teeth and pulling of hair and rending of clothing.
Yeah, dirt matches in the hair, yes.
Yeah. Oh, goodness, it's great. I think they need a crying closet myself. But be that as it may, I'm aghast that nobody can think, that nobody brings any thought to this. They bring emotions and only emotions, never realizing that emotions are the easiest thing in the world to manipulate.
And what was it your wife's great aunt used to say?
What was it, Ollie?
If you can't think, you gotta feel.
There you are. And they're gonna feel. There's no two ways about it, man. They've got to stop bringing emotion to the table. Emotion has a place. Usually it's the place behind thought, where you think about how can I resolve this situation so that it stays resolved, and yet emotionally I feel all right about it. Not good, but all right. I wish there was some better way to deal with it, but what are you going to do when these people bring their children to a border? What are you going to do? What are you going to do when they bring their children into danger? What are you going to do when they send their children without them? Just send their children, knowing the United States will take care of them. Oh my God, they'll take care of them.
What are you going to do when they sell their children into danger?
Sure. What are you going to do about it? You're not going to blame them, are you? No, of course not. You're going to blame the evil, nasty United States of America, which has this problem dumped on their doorstep, knowing that emotion will take over. I'm sorry, I don't have time for emotion. I've got to consider, what are we going to do with them? I can't afford to just sit down and cry my little heart out for all little Juans and Pablos that have been dumped by their parents. I haven't got time to sit around and cry about that. I've got to think about getting them something to eat, some clothes to wear, somewhere to be in out of the elements. can't just turn them loose on the streets of LA. Emotionally, you can't do that. But intellectually, you have to do that. But emotion, no. Emotion is like Rob Reiner. And what's his name? That big fat slob that did a couple of movie
Michael
pictures.
Moore. Yeah.
Michael
And I saw
Moore,
those,
yes.
I saw those recent Rob Reiner quotes. They're something.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, they all want to play the emotion card because they can play the emotion card and then they can pull back into Hollywood. Michael Moore did not stay out on grounds and help these people. We got lots of, golly gee, nasty law enforcement, ICE, and Bureau of Prisons, and all these people out there going, come on, kid, come on, we got to go this way. No, you can't go over there. You got to go over here. Now, give us your clothes. Well, we got to give you new clothes because we're going to have to delouse you and wash you because there's no telling what you brought with you when you came. So we got to get you in line. And they're trying their very fucking best, intellectually and emotionally, to get this situation straightened out, ironed out, whatever you want to call it. Okay, fine. But they're evil, nasty ICE people. Nah. The evil, nasty ones in this are the Rob Reiners and the Moores and so on that come out and tweet and come out and say things and then run back to Hollywood and have another champagne cocktail. I'm sorry. I know this is supposed to be a safer place, but for those people, I have no respect at all. They have got no dog in the fight. All they've got is emotion, which, golly gee, they can express or not from the window of their Mercedes.
And so, what do you think? What do you think we're going to be seeing over this, upcoming period of 3 or 4 months until we hit the midterms?
I think you're going to see rousing, rising emotional content. I think you'll see the left get more and more hysterical, and the right get colder and colder, and everybody kind of go, no, man, I can't see this. This is ridiculous. And so you get a lot of what they call walk-away movements.
Yeah, that seems to be gaining real steam. I've looked at how the hashtag's working on the YouTube videos and the channels and the people that are coming out.
Well, listen,
talking.
He's a hairdresser and he's gay, and he just really doesn't understand why everybody doesn't get in with the walk-away movement.
And a lot of people are.
It's another Milo.
Gateway drug.
Sure. Every time you suck one black dick. But at any rate, the thing is that they've got nothing going for them, man, except emotion and emotional content and a whole bunch of NAACP people touting their programs as though they're in line with the black man's idea of things. And the black man's idea of things is, hey, man, I got a fucking job. Lowest it's been, unemployment in black America is as low as it's ever been. As low, Ollie. There are going to be a lot of those people saying, no, I like old Trump.
Yeah, I tweeted out a picture of some ICE guys leading away a person in handcuffs and put underneath it the fastest way to create American jobs. I mean, I think there's considerable truth to it.
There is. But this is supposed to be a kinder, gentler channel. So it's possibly a quick way to ensure that Americans have job opportunities they wouldn't ordinarily have had at poultry packing plants, at meat packing plants, at slaughterhouses,
Construction
places like
sites.
that, construction sites. Yeah. Well, look at here. There's my good friend Rachel. How am I feeling? Uh huh. I'm feeling like shit. Rachel, how about you? The thing is that, there we are. The thing is that no matter how you slice it, Ollie, the midterm elections are what the Republicans have placed their major bet on. They're what the Democrats have placed their major bet on. Nancy Pelosi, Pocahontas, Maxine Waters, they're nobodies. I mean, I realize they're important and they've got lots of money, but they're nobodies as far as actually mattering to the country because they're not addressing any of the issues that actually matter to the country. They just aren't. I mean, they even had a woman from the Cherokee Nation get on, I think it was Tucker Carlson or one of those programs, and go, she really ought to come out and say she made a mistake. Or get tested. One or the other. We'll be happy to provide the kit. Come on, man. All of these people are getting caught in their fucking lies. Their lies and their ways of doing things. And I think that we're going to see a major purge come along with the FBI, the Justice Department, and a whole bunch of these representatives and senators. Chuck, what's his name? Old crying Chuck.
Chuck Schumer.
Schumer?
Yeah.
Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer is about to take a big fall. I don't know how he's going to take it, but he's about to. I can see it writ large all over him. And I can think of nobody better served by that, except possibly that fellow from New York, who, what's his name, Brookins something.
Cory Booker, maybe?
There you are, Cory Booker. He's out there charging away at all the Trumpers. And it's wonderful because there are no Trumpers in front of him.
Yeah, tilting at windmills.
Yeah, he's tilting at windmills. But that's all right. He's got some company with him. Again, from New York, that little girl that just won the big election against the fellow who was, what is it, 40 years he's been in Senate? You know?
Yeah, some kind of major Democrat incumbent.
Yeah.
It looks like we're going to be saying goodbye to, what's his name, Paul Ryan. Will probably be going away. Don't let
they
the
need
door
to
hit you on the ass on the way out. And then we've got Gowdy, who's not going to be running for re-election, and I'm guessing he probably wouldn't get selected for the Supreme Court. Maybe he's going to be a new AG or something. I don't think he's leaving politics.
Well, I don't think he will either, but I think he's going to fall back and wait and see what happens, which I think is a bad mistake on his part.
Yeah, he's been acting a little weird anyway.
Yeah, he has. But that's all right. Everybody's entitled to make a mistake.
And what do you think about the business with since we're just shooting shit, I think we got another 10 minutes on it or something. What 10, 15. What do you think is going on with Cohen, Trump's attorney, who has been, making all kinds of coy noises about how he's going to flip on Trump and sing?
Well, I think that he hasn't got anything to flip on. He's trying to interest the Justice Department in making him offers that he can then relay to Trump. He hasn't got anything to flip on. Trump's too smart to use a fixer like that for anything important.
Yeah, and I imagine Trump has been planning this for decades. So he's had plenty of time to clean up and plan.
Yeah. What gets me is they put Manafort in solitary confinement. Depending on what sort of solitary confinement he's got, There are some issues there. I've been in solitary confinement.
SIG. Yes.
Yeah.
What are those issues you're thinking of?
Well, now, ADSEG is different from solitary confinement. ADSEG, you get a roommate. In solitary confinement, you're by yourself. The solitary confinement breaks into various ways, means, and levels of solitary confinement, including having no, no reading material, no nothing. So, it depends on what kind of solitary confinement they got him in.
And what do you think they're trying to do with all that, even though we don't know
Break
exactly
him.
what kind of...
Break him.
I mean, so this guy is really being held without trial. I mean, it seems like
Yeah.
textbook unconstitutional shit. Hail forth the body, damn it. Tim, you just hit the whatever again.
There. Can you hear me?
Yep.
There you go. Oh, boy. Um, it depends on what they're doing with habeas corpus, etc. Because to be honest with you, I don't know that they're not trying to gin up a whole bunch of popular support for Manafort. It's hard to say. There are so many things it could be, but I do know that it's a little odd that they have him in there on a charge that is secret. Now, you would think that they would trumpet it from the rooftops if they've got a new charge against Mr. Manafort. But it's a sealed indictment.
Well, they said something about the reason they imprisoned him was because they had reason to believe that he was obstructing justice by trying to get in touch with potential witnesses and
Yeah, but
tell
they've
them
got a
what to
new
say.
indictment against him. They've got a new indictment against him. And it's a sealed, secret indictment. A secret indictment is supposed to hide the indictment charges, and the fact that somebody's been indicted, golly, when they're running around loose. They used to use that against the mafia people, and against terrorists that have sealed secret indictments. So they could catch them fucking up. They could catch them in the world. They could just plain catch them and then go, aha, we've got an indictment.
But here we have the odd circumstance where he's already been charged with some things and stuck in prison, and yet they're playing this game.
Durance vile. Yeah.
Well, one thing that people don't seem to take into account is it may well be that Cohen and or Manafort pissed Trump off, and they're not his allies in any way. And this just was a convenient way for him to get rid of them.
I think he has explained to them that they're going to have to take a lot of stick. You may have noticed that nobody has moved forward on any of these indictments yet.
They're even backing off some of them, like the one where they indicted all those Russian companies, and they showed up and said, yeah, we're ready for our day in court. And they're like, well, what? We don't what? No. Slow down.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Slow down. We aren't ready for you folks yet. Sure. It's that way, Ollie. Mueller is basically playing a publicity game. And what he doesn't realize is that the closer it comes to the midterm elections, the harder it's going to be to pull it off. Because for the midterms, Trump is going to go after the 7th floor of the FBI and the top floor of the Justice Department. And he's getting his people in line for that now. Out in Utah.
Yes, John Huber. And so what does this mean with our little remaining time here? In terms of, Strzok and Page, and, Strzok supposedly going to appear to speak to some of these committees, and now Page has backed out.
I thought this was a kinder, gentler channel, Ollie, where we weren't going to talk about things like that, where we were going to try to be as kind and gentle as we could, and not talk about these people and all their lies and all their pontificating and all their hypocrisy. I thought we were going to talk nicely about them.
Well, is there no way to discuss this nicely?
Well, now, in my former incarnation, I would recommend several ways to talk about it nicely. Uh, I personally, I like of it myself, but the thing is that these people are full of shit as Christmas turkeys, Ollie. There is nothing for them in any of this except buku fucking grief. That's all they've got to look forward to. Unless Strzok and Page get a deal, sort of like Amwan Aran or whatever his name is,
Imran Alan, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
I think he got out of that because he's going to roll on people that are important, and they're just waiting to do it.
I think he got out of that because he was brought up on charges by the brother of that little Florida girl he used to work for,
Wasserman Schultz.
Wasserman Schultz. Yeah. You see, her brother is actually the
DA somewhere in Florida, something like that.
No, he's an attorney for the Justice Department in Washington, D.C., I understand, where he is in charge of the prosecution of Imran. Because he gave, whatever. Hot choo 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 choo. The thing is that gave him a pardon for all crimes. Now, he can't give a pardon. He can't even give a non-prosecutorial agreement for all crimes, except for bank fraud. He can't do that. But he just did. Sounds a little fishy to me.
So that maybe will be something they just circle back around and correct later because it won't stand.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of that. There's like that Hillary Rodham Clinton mess where they gave her a pardon for this and that, and they gave her non-prosecutorial agreements and immunity from prosecution from da 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 da. You can't do that. That's abrogating to yourself as FBI agents and as minor Justice Department officials, a power that belongs either to major Justice Department officials or to the President of the United States.
And so this brings us around to the idea of whether or not somebody like Hillary Clinton is eventually going to be forced to pay the piper. Do you still hold that her time will come?
I'll lock her up. Yeah, I'm afraid it will. She has gone too far. She has transgressed Trump's lines in the sand that he drew for her. Don't go past this and we'll forget about it all. Okay, well, you went past that, but maybe you'll have some sense and not go past this. Nope. So I'm looking at this, and you may have noticed that an awful lot of people who came out from the Obama administration, Holder and so on, who were in favor of rah, 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 zis, boom, bah, have suddenly fallen the fuck back and are very, very quiet and very small and have no public profile at all. They ain't coming out saying shit. That's why they're having to get these NAACP and these attorneys that used to be in charge of Hillary's campaigns, and even they are looking kind of peeking around the gills, as it were. They're looking less than sanguine about their chances. You will pardon me, but to me the whole thing is hilarious. I've been watching it develop now for about 2 years because I knew the minute Trump got elected that their day would come. There would be major purges. There would be major upsets. And so far, I've been proven right.
Yeah, and we're seeing other things come around, like you talk about mask laws and how they're going to be enforced. There's a big fuss being made about passing some sort of anti-Antifa mask legislation, but the reality is, like you said, we already got it on the books from the days of the Klan. And I
Yeah.
just saw some footage that was going around on Twitter of some police who were basically in the midst of announcing to Antifa they either take those masks off or they're going to jail. So it's not like some new law needs to be passed.
Golly. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the nature of law. If it's law for the goose, it's law for the gander. And if it's law, then it's fucking law. It doesn't matter if you're a Klansman or Antifa. You can't wear a mask. Sorry, it's again the law. And to be honest with you, I'm for that law. I am, because anybody who hides behind a mask, he's a coward. Come out with your face right there in front of everybody and say, I'm a racist or I'm a socialist or I'm a whatever. But come out and say it.
Yeah, that's why we both use our faces and use our real names.
Listen, honey, I don't have enough to keep up with a pseudonym now. I've had a stroke.
Well, I will have a cigarette with you, and we'll treat this like a fuse. And I guess I'll just leave you some closing time there to provide your final closing thoughts about this whole business of recent domestic developments.
Recent domestic developments are kind of like watching old people and young children play in their poop. You know, there really isn't much to say except, my God, draws beautiful pictures and shit on the walls, doesn't he? You know, come on, man. These people are out of their minds. They're crazy as bed bugs. And to be honest with you, CNN, WMSNBC, Rachel Maddow's program, these are all examples of children who've been turned loose to create a mess. And they have no obligation and no responsibility to straighten anything out. None. They don't even report.
They're making a mess.
Oh yeah, they're making a mess. They have no knowledge of anything. They remind me very much of the know-nothings. You know, they know nothing. And they're perfectly happy to stay that way. Great. They make lots of money being talking heads. I'm glad for them. They're going to need that money because they're going to be out of a job before too long. Because their networks are going to be closed down.
Yeah, what's its name? CNN was, down in the pits, like in the ranking for last year. But then for this more recent period, they've dropped even further. And
Sure.
the Food Network has more viewership.
Yeah. Sure, that's understandable.
Not MSNBC.
They've got things that interest people. Mm-hmm.
Quiche.
Yeah,
MSNBC.
You can eat it.
MSNBC, on the other hand, is up in the top 2 against Fox. So I guess that's where we see the polarization hooking
Sure.
in.
Sure. They've
But
got
they're
people who
interesting
tell
things.
blatant lies. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of them. But there's some interesting things going on with Fox, which is now in the midst of fighting it out with Comcast to make a bid on Sky News to do some things with Europe. So
Sure.
we may see things change.
Might see some real changes occur. Golly gee, you don't suppose that Fox wants to take Sky News and make it conservative, do you?
Actually conservative. Yeah, and what Sky News, I think they've got them in England, Australia.
Well, you can watch them in India too, sir. Or
Yeah,
at least you could when I was there.
They claim that Sky is conservative, but I mean, they also claim that Fox is conservative. And with, the exception of some of these opinion programs, they're neither are.
Well, of course not. You cannot be conservative in this milieu. A real conservative would just Oh my God, he'd be banned from everything.
Yeah, for not
Wouldn't he?
being in a safe enough space. Yeah,
Yes. I just think the conservatives need a good crying closet.
don't they
I
all?
really do. Oh yes, a good crying closet. Boo
Punchy
hoo, boo hoo,
pillows,
boo hoo.
squeezy rock. Yes.
Uh huh. Sure, sure. And little brown unicorns everywhere. Oh God, I'm going to tell you, man. I have never in my life seen such bullshit, except on porno stations, porno channels, where they have the cosplay. Yeah, have you looked at these things, man? They are fucking amazing. They have women
What
dressed up
about
as
like
cats.
furries and anime? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And engaging in sex. Fucking unreal. Oh, it's
But
just
sounds
unfucking real.
it
I'm
sounds
sorry
like
to go ahead,
your
Ollie.
recent experience in the rehabilitation center writ large.
Oh yeah, well.
Can I have some biscuits and gravy?
Now you see, there you go, mispronouncing it. It's biscuits and gravy, gravy. Could I have some? Could I have some bacon and eggs?
This was a fellow who wandered around the rehab center talking to everyone.
Oh yeah, he just would out of the clear blue sky go, "Hey, could I have something to eat?" He just finished eating. Can I have some biscuits and gravy? And I got him one day. I said, "No, you may not. You are never going to eat again. We're going to starve you to a mere shadow of your former self." And he
So
looked at me like, "God damn."
this is how you were behaving in the rehab center with all the old crazies. I mean, the other
Sure.
old crazies.
Well, wait a minute now. Other old crazies? Yeah. No, I went at him that one time there in the dining hall because he had just pissed off everybody. And he sang My Blue Heaven as well. Off key, horribly off key. You heard him one time when you called. My Blue Heaven. Oh, it was wonderful.
So you've
Not
now
to
been
mention,
in.
not to mention which there was a fellow up the hall from him who went ah all night long. Then there were the women who went, "Can somebody help me? Can somebody help me?" Not to mention which, be fully clothed and go, "I've got to put my clothes on. I've got to put my clothes on."
So you were having a
Oh,
grand
yeah.
old time.
Yeah, man. I felt like I was in the middle of the SJW brigade, you know?
So, so stroke rehab centers, BOP facilities,
Yeah,
and working for Uncle Sugar wearing green.
yeah.
Is there any other category of insanity? I mean, are you going to end up in a mental institution with a nurse ratchet? Is there
You
something
mean I'm
left
not
that?
in one now? I'm not in one now? Good God, Ollie. Woo. I don't know, old son. I look at it like this. No matter how you slice it, this whole thing has been one long circle jerk. It really has. And I grow so tired of the retardates because they come at the same topics in so many different ways with their feelings dripping out of them that mean nothing. Now I realize that's unkind of me to say, but I grow tired of it. They offer no solutions, and they offer no real stopgap measures. All they've got is they want to abolish the police, abolish ICE, abolish this, abolish that, and make everything free. And to be honest with you, it just doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. I wish it did. I wish I could wave a magic wand and make it all better. But you can't. Because you got all these people outside our lawful borders who would love to just come in and rip and roar and basically destroy the country. So I just look at it and I go, Well, now you folks go off in the corner and play in your poop, all right? And draw really nice little finger pictures on the wall. Yeah. And we'll be by later to scrub them off. Because that's what we're having to do, Ollie. We're having to scrub off all the little brown unicorns that everybody drew. And I, for one, am sort of tired of it. Yeah. But what can you say? It's not up to me. If it were up to me, it'd be a different world. I can tell you that right now.